today. I'm proud of myself. So he then took this as a conversation of encouragement. No, I just felt like I had to keep him updated when I actually did sell some add-ons so that I didn't get told off again. And then the manager says in his interview that there's never any pressure to upsell anything. That's crazy. I also said in my complaint that the manager just generally scares me. After I made the complaint, I still had to work with him, and in my opinion, he started to treat me even worse. He made me stand by the front door of the store in winter in shorts selling things, which is something he'd never asked me to do before. A lot of the things that I complained about as well are just normal things that's expected of retail workers. Like, it's normal to be asked to stay an extra few hours after your shift. But in this case, because of how scared I was of him and how intimidating he was, it just felt like I never had a choice and I always had to just agree with things. Like, obviously, if I thought my shift was over and I wanted to go home and I wanted to get away, he always asked me right at the end of my shift, like as I'm about to leave, if I can stay an extra 2 hours. But I always felt like it wasn't him asking, it was him like expecting me to say yes. I felt like I couldn't say no. Anyway, in his interview, he said there's never any pressure to say yes to extra hours. I said at the end of my statement, like my ideal outcome, and I quote, "My ideal outcome would be for the manager to treat everyone nicely so I don't feel scared to go to work." And apparently the manager was taken back by my allegations. And then he showed the interviewer an article that I wrote about him being a really good manager. For context here, he knew that I had a social media following and he wanted more people to come to our store. So to promote the store, he begged me to do a post on Twitter, and it was a picture of me standing outside the front of the shop with the address of the shop and everything, telling people to come, like, this is where I work. Surely that's dangerous. So that's the only thing that I can think of where I would have publicly said, like, oh, come to my store, I've got a really good manager. Like, I don't know where I wrote an article. But again, anything I ever said about him being nice was obviously just because I was scared of him. Why would I go around saying he's a really bad manager? It says in the document, in conclusion, having considered all the facts and evidence, I can find no evidence to substantiate your claims. So it basically ended there. Obviously, after all of this, I still had to work with the manager, so he was just very off with me and it was really awkward. So a few days after the case got closed, basically, I told him I was quitting. You usually need to give like a week or 2 weeks notice before you quit a job, but I'm guessing he just wanted me gone anyway. So I remember I just went into his office and I said, today's my last day, and he was just like, okay. The end. Follow for more story times.